going rogue. The signal will be a little bit better now. So anyways, getting back to where I was, I think I've done this a couple of times now. It kept shutting down on me. But it just felt really good last night to see everybody shooting off their fireworks. Felt really good to see everybody kind of come together, having their parties, doing what they were doing. You know, I was with family and friends all day. I was out and about, riding my bike and, doing a little hike that I took, and it was just beautiful. Everybody was out. Everybody was enjoying it. Nobody was, everybody felt together, which was a great moment, for everybody, especially after, everything that has been going on for the last 3 or 4 months. But just to kind of reiterate what I had said earlier, one of the really, really nice things that I felt was the nanny state gone. And I think that that's the big thing for us all to take away from this throughout this whole ordeal, is that the nanny state that professes they need to be there for us all the time. They need to be, there for us to make sure we're safe, and they need to make sure we're there for our health. And we need to make sure that they're there so that they can tax us the right way. We need to make sure that they're there to do fireworks the proper way. We need them to be there to clean our parks, and we need them there to take care of the streets and do this and everything else. But where have these guys been? Where has our government been the past 4 or 5 months? They haven't been anywhere, right? They're all holed up inside doing what they're doing. You got parks that are overgrown. You got throughways, sides, where the grass is normally mowed in the middle and on the sides of the road, and it's not being mowed. So all of these things that these governments and these towns and the county and the state and the federal level say we need them for so much. Look what happened last night. Fireworks went off. Everybody was safe. Everybody had a great time. Felt old school. It felt like back in the day when everybody did fireworks. Everybody was doing what they were doing and enjoying themselves. And I'm not saying that there's going to be lawlessness or, that we can't have some type of oversight or something like that. But it was just nice that when you don't have government, holding everybody's hand all the time. And they should never be holding, to be honest. And it's just it's the self-feeding job. You get, they're lazy and they don't do anything. So, we need another person to fill this position. Now you got another person. We need another agency. Last I checked, town government was supposed to just take care of highways. That was it. They can't even do that. They had to create a highway department. Then they created a department. But then you take a look at a town like Elma here in Erie County, and towns all over this state that don't have any of that nonsense. And they don't have near the tax burden that we have here in Erie County. So it just felt nice last night to see, people being people, not having to worry about the threat of government, government not being weaponized against them. And like I said, for the past 4 or 5 months, sorry guys, phone must be drunk or hungover today or something. Sprint they must have fallen asleep at the wheel. So, but schools have been closed. We got no schools open. Teachers making money. We got highway departments and state employees and county employees. What are they doing? They're not mowing the lawns. That's their only job that they got. But they're still getting paid. And I got a lot of, no slight on my friends that are teachers at all, but you have parents teaching kids. They're homeschooling kids. Their kids. And teachers aren't in school. We don't have administrators in schools. We don't have staff, support staff. We don't have janitors. We don't have buses. None of that's running. But we all got our school tax bill, didn't we? We all got our town, county, village bills for taxes, right? And who's doing anything? half the people, half the personnel in these offices or in these government, where they're being told they don't have to go to work. But guess what? We're still paying the same in taxes. That's not going to change. So our job isn't over, guys. Our job really isn't over. It's just beginning that we need to take this back, because we got to ensure that we never allow them to do what they did to us again. We can never allow that to happen again. And the only way we do that is to stick together in every chance that we get, to stand together, to stand up with one another. And we got to take back these town governments and all of these government agencies that are out there that are taxing us to death. And now they're not even working. Remember when Governor Cuomo came out and said every state employee's paycheck, they will get their paycheck. None of them will not receive a paycheck. So every single teacher who wasn't teaching, every single town employee, highway employee, every state employee and agency that was out there, nothing going on, not traveling back and forth to work, but they all were guaranteed pay, every single one of them. And that's bad. Our state, our county, our towns have been able to run. We've been able to educate our kids. This should be proof to all of us that, again, with Independence Day, that we are independent of all of these government agencies, that we're free from them. We don't need them. The police weren't out. They weren't even helping. I went down to a rally that had 800 people. There were 2 or 3 police cars that were there, and that was it. And I had to protect myself. In towns all over, and my house got robbed. So, I'm not saying defund police, but I'm saying we were able to get through life without all of these government agencies that we felt like we absolutely had to have. And our taxes aren't going down. And there's not even a call for our taxes to go down at this point. 4 or 5 months these people didn't work. And I'm not saying teachers didn't work, because they were kind of working, but the teachers that I know said that they were working for like an hour or an hour and a half, and it was just to justify their existence. So that's that. But there's 2 very big things that happened the past couple of days. Rand Paul got Fauci to admit in a congressional hearing that kids aren't contracting the COVID virus and that schools can open back up. Fauci said that in an open congressional hearing. Rand Paul got him to admit that. And he got him to admit that because other countries around the world have their kids going back to school. Other states, certain states in this country, they have their students, they were back at school, no issues, no problems, no spike in cases, right? That was the fact that Rand Paul was able to get Fauci to admit that was huge. So don't forget that, guys. The other thing that happened was WHO announced. So remember, our started, and everybody said that, it's like kids are immune to it. All mainstream media, kids are immune to it. And then that changed. Oh no, kids are at risk. They're one of the groups of people that are at biggest risk. So it changed again to fit whatever it was that they wanted to accomplish. So lies, and this is where I'm getting at. More and more and more lies from these government agencies. One lie after another. And even if it wasn't an intentional lie, they were dead wrong. And they used information that went against all traditional logic and rationale. All of it. You had other countries in the world that said, we're not doing this. We're going to do three weeks peak, 5 weeks done. That happened. That held true. No difference. Yet here in this country and so many other parts of the world, they decided to change the way that they handled it. Now what's happening? Just like always, kids are mostly not susceptible to it, and even less susceptible to COVID than most other flu strains. And yet here we are. We closed every school down. Not only we closed every school down, we shut off access to all of our kids for sports, for interacting with one another, for graduation, all of that. We ended that. For what reason? a lie, an outright bold-faced lie. Now WHO comes out, another lie. Again, hundreds of years of dealing with pandemics, the medical community is in agreement. The science doesn't change. Does science evolve eventually? Yes, but with regard to viruses and with regard to humanity with it, that doesn't change. Like, they know how to handle these things. This is why they've handled them the way that they have, without a total overall government shutdown and ruining lives for years. So WHO comes out, and WHO just announces everything that we knew was true. They announced it. They said asymptomatic people, which means that people that have the virus, that test positive for it, but don't have any symptoms at all, which happens a lot, like with other viruses, what they said is that you are not contagious. So what we knew was true all along. WHO finally, after 4 or 5 months of shutdown, says what we all knew and what had been the truth forever. Asymptomatic people are not contagious. Just said that. Again, proving that the history of how we handle all of these things, the history of how we handle viruses, pandemics, that shouldn't have changed. People changed it, had a motivation, and they had a reason. And we know what that is. It was to shut everything down. It was for fear. It was to see. It was a huge psyop to see what they'll be able to perpetrate us, what they would be able to accomplish against us if they could ever do this again, what they could do to the world. So Fauci admits students, kids are not at risk of contracting this and it being deadly. Very, very, very little risk. WHO announces asymptomatic people are not contagious. Yep, we all knew that. Death rate is ridiculously low on this. I don't even know the last time somebody died in Erie County or in upstate New York. So just wanted to share those few things with you guys today. Thanks for watching. Wanted to say that, last night, Independence Day was just awesome. All day yesterday. Had so much fun and enjoyed watching all the fireworks. So thank you to everybody who did that. That was really awesome. Enjoy your day, guys. Love you, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Bye.